preparation so far, Coach?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, prior to getting down here and then getting here, it's been a lot of good work. I've been very impressed with the way that our guys have gone about things. I think that their intent and attention to detail has been outstanding, really. And this is a team that they've got a lot of different weapons, so it's really a matter of it's going to take all these guys and a whole lot of other players that are going to be out there to really get done what we want to get done.
Questions, raise your hand, and if you're on social, it's hashtag Alamo Bowl.
Coach, you just talk about, you said to get done what you want to get done. What do you have to get done against Oregon to slow them down?
Well, contrary to what I think some people think, you know, because you see their spread offense and you see their tempo and you think of, you know, they're throwing the ball all over the lot, and they will throw it all over the lot, but they are very determined to run the football. And anytime you got a team that can be two-dimensional, you know, it isn't what you like on defense. So we've got to find ways to control their running game and then do everything we can to disrupt the passing game. And it's easier said than done, but that's really what you go about trying to get done.
Jackson, I'm going to ask you this, but it's really for all five of you guys. They have a ton of speed. You're going to have to tackle in space. How are you guys addressing staying fundamentally sound and making sure you can tackle and make the tackles you got to make to play in a game like this?
Well, the most important thing to tackle guys in space is have everybody, all 11 guys flying to the ball, and that's the most important thing. So everybody's had to fly to the ball after a catch is made or anything, or running back has the ball. Everybody swarm them.
Thank you, Jackson. Anybody else want to answer?
Go ahead, Q. Talk to him about how you're going to get around that ball.
No, you just got to, like Jackson said, you just got to run to the ball. You know, everybody do their assignments, and you be in the right spot at the right time. You know, everybody run to the ball, create turnovers, and, you know, get those guys off the field. So, you know, if we just play our game and come out, run to the ball like we've been practicing the last 2 weeks and all throughout the season, you know, it'll all work out fine.
Thank you, Quadre. Over there.
Yeah, Kirk Bowles from the Austin American. Greg, does Bader and Oregon, they seem like carbon copies of one another offensively with their strategy?
Well, I think in the sense that they both will do everything they can to be effective running the football as well as throwing the football. I think that you know, there's some things about their styles that are a little different, but really it comes down to that they want to spread the field and you know, get the ball in the hands of people that are good athletes, and you know, so that's really the challenge. Yeah, this guy he's got good wheels, and you know, he can move around, he can run the ball up the field, but he can maneuver in the pocket as well, and he's pretty good at trying to stay alive so that he can chuck that ball downfield.
For Jackson and said, can you talk about what you've seen from Marcus Mariota on film? How different is he from any of the running quarterbacks you've faced this year?
I started off. Marcus Mariota, he's a good player. You know, he was a Heisman candidate, and he's a little different in the style that he can throw the ball and run the ball just as good as just the same. While on the run, he can throw the ball and get it right there on point. He's strong enough to throw it back shoulder and complete it. I'm talking about 50 yards down the field, and that's one thing that makes him deadly. While he's running, he can still complete a pass just like he's standing in the pocket, and his pocket presence is pretty good too.
Yeah, and he's a talented guy. So he's a guy we're gonna have to be in his face all night, and that's the thing. We got to put pressure on him and get to him. Make him uncomfortable in the pocket, because if you let him sit back there, he's very comfortable in the pocket, moving around. He's got good feet in there, and he will find somewhere to escape. So we have to make sure that we stay in our rush lanes.
Thank you, Jackson. We had one from hashtag Alamo Bowl Jackson. Talk about your finish and how you seem to come in, with all the sacks in the last couple of games. How you're feeling?
Well, I thank my teammates. I mean, without these DBs up here and without Said over there, I wouldn't have been able to get to make the plays I did, and they really helped me out. I mean, we help each other out. But I'm excited for this game. I mean, I can't wait to play Oregon. I mean, big time number 10 team. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Jackson, has Alex Okafor challenged you and Cedric to match his numbers from last year's Alamo Bowl?
Well, I think he didn't directly say it to us, but I think he was talking to Coach a little bit about it. So we like a challenge, and so for our boy Oak, we're going to try to go out there and get those numbers or get more.
Jake Zivin, ABC in Eugene. Jackson, have you talked to your father at all about defending the Ducks and specifically Marcus and Oregon's offense? And has he shared anything that he gained from coaching against them at Colorado?
Yeah, I have talked to him about it, and I was just in Colorado sitting down, and I was watching film, and he saw me, so we sat down and watched it together. But he said that very talented team, guys that will make you miss. You got to, like I said, like coaches have preached to us all week and all year, actually, run to the ball, swarm tackle, everybody get on the ball. And he said that these guys, and they're fast. They got athletic offensive linemen. They can move. And so you just got to play your game. You got to do your responsibilities and do what you have to do. He said it's a team you just got to keep going with them. I mean, if we play our game, it should be a good one.
Andrew Greif for the Oregonian. This is for Greg. What's your impression when you watch a year's worth of film of DeAnthony Thomas, how Oregon uses him? Has that changed in your estimation?
You mean over a period of time, has it changed?
Yeah, this season.
Oh, I think it's kind of there's ebb and flows in the style, and I think they kind of seem to kind of go and move along as an offense. You'll find that, this guy is hot, that guy's hot, this runner is doing this runner's doing that. They've got people that have real strengths in certain areas, and I think that they really try to utilize these people. And so you'll see at different times of the year where they'll have a spurt and really be doing well because of the way that they're attacking defense, and we're not certain how they're going to try to attack us, but it'll probably become apparent pretty soon in the game, and then you got to do everything you can to improvise and adjust.
For Carrington, how tough do you think the Oregon wide receivers are going to be on Monday?
We know that they have two guys that are that have majority of their catches. Josh Huff and Addison, or Brandon Addison. But they're good receivers. We've faced a lot of talented receivers in the Big 12, so it'll just be another challenge for us in the defensive in the back end. So we're looking forward to what they throw at us.
As for any of the defensive backs, they run the ball, they throw the ball, they do both of them well. How do you guys keep your heads where they're supposed to be and not worry about supporting the run and staying on your assignment?
Adrian, AP? Basically, it just comes down to our assignments and through bowl practice, we've been through it. We've understood that we can't really worry about what's happening on the other side of the field. You have to stay tuned into our game plan because they're liable to do anything. So when we see them doing tricks or seeing them do things that we might not have seen before, we just have to stay tuned and we'll be all right.
I think for us, it's just it's big to just do your responsibility, not for us, but just for the whole defense in general. Just doing our job, and that's a big thing that's been lacking for us at times this year. People doing trying to do too much. So I think we just need to focus on doing the things that we need to do during that play, and it'll happen from there.
For Said, can you talk about Greg and what he's meant to the defense this season and why it worked when he stepped in?
Coach Greg, he's meant a lot to us. He came in and gave and showed us and just gave us the opportunity to just go out and play freely, not freely, but assigned football, but freely in our minds. And just to go out there and have a chance to get after the quarterback is one of the reasons why I really like him. He gives us a lot of blitzes, and he gives us a lot of opportunity to make the quarterback uncomfortable. And he came in with a tough situation. You know, it was mid-season almost, and he just came in and he put his arms around us and told us that what we're going to do, and we done that, and we trusted him in his assignments.
Thank you, Cedric.
Yeah, Greg, kind of following on that, can you talk about the challenge of coming in the middle of the year and how these guys have done, and then now for the last month you've kind of finally had a few weeks in a row without a game, and just kind of how that's helped you?
Well, it was very difficult, and first of all, I got to tell you that the defensive staff they've carried me through the season, because I had to adapt to them as opposed to really everybody having to adapt to me, and so I start with them. That those coaches have done an incredible job of working with me and getting me up to speed as best I can, and then working with these guys. These are really, really good football players right here. And I mean, I can go down the line, and I mean, Jackson is Jackson. I mean, Quandary now is a nickel outside linebacker. He's got so many different things that he's got to do, and he puts it all together. AP is the glue. I mean, he's the guy in the back end back there that he's up there coming into the supporting the run. He's playing the pass, and Ced's doing his thing, and then there's a man out there on an island, in Carrington. So that's been really a good thing. We lost a couple of guys, and we've had some younger guys step up and do a pretty good job for us, and so that's really what it's been about for me is kind of getting to know these guys and really leaning on that staff to help me along.
Greg, we've seen some defensive teams fake injuries to slow down Oregon's tempo. I just wonder if you have any thoughts on that practice in general.
No, that's not our game. Really isn't. I think that we're in shape. I think that we deal with tempo every day in practice. Our offense, we go through a period of tempo that we've been doing really every Tuesday and Wednesday of that we go against the offense, and so and I'm not telling you that it's not demanding, but no, we don't need to fake injuries to get through the game.
Yeah, Brian Davis with the Statesman, both for Quandary and Jackson. It's easy to forget now just how things were in upheaval after the BYU game. Q, can you just talk about Coach coming in here? Seemed like was a huge calming influence on everything, settled y'all down, and when things really could have been disastrous.
Yeah, no doubt. Coach Robinson came in a tough situation, and I can remember the first meeting. He just came in. He told us what he wanted us to do. He told us he had his guys that he really wanted to be leaders to step up, and just just bring the unit together. So these guys, myself, Jordan Hicks, and guys like that, we just had to take it upon ourselves to be able to lead the defense as being the older guys that's played the most football on the team. So we could have laid down, but one thing I said about this team all year is we're very resilient. We come out with a lot of fight, and this is one of the closest teams that I ever played on. It's definitely one of the closest teams I played on. So I enjoy going out and battle with these guys each and every day, and I wouldn't take anything back. I'd do it all over again, and it just taught us life lessons that we'll take with us through the future.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough time we had, and really a lot that, like he said, we're very close, and so we came together and let everybody know, hey, we can't let this break us. We can still do things this year. We got to keep playing, and like you said, we're very resilient. You can't get too high on the highs and too low on the lows. You have to stay in the middle and just keep going.
Thank you, Jackson.
This question's for Coach. Which player on Oregon's offense keeps you up most at night?
I sleep well. I sleep well. Now they've got good players, and you know what? I know them by numbers. Okay, I like 6. This guy can be all over the darn field. 9's a good running back as well. 8, the quarterback is, he's got his game. I call him 11. I call him 1. I was Carrington had their names down, but and then even these 2 young tight ends that play for them, and they got a good group of people. They've got 2 or 3 offensive linemen. I think that you look at it and you figure down the road there, they probably have a future too. So they're the number 2 ranked offense in the country, and there's reason for it, And so it's the kind of thing where it's not so much about them as it is about us. And these guys were saying it, You just a couple things you got to do. You got to do your job, and if every guy does his job, and then give great effort. If you give the great effort and just do your job to the best of your ability, I think good things are going to happen for us too.
This is for Jackson and Quandre. You guys have gone from allowing 6 yards per carry to 3.5 yards per carry. You've really improved the run defense. What are a couple of specifics that you feel like you've changed to increase that?
Really just focusing on the mistakes that we made. Even when we had a good game, we focused on those mistakes to make sure we didn't repeat them, and building our strengths and building up our weaknesses and making them strengths. That's the biggest thing, and not everybody getting in their gaps, everybody making sure that they get off blocks and make plays. That's most important. You have to get out there and make plays, tackles for loss, and turnovers.
Thank you, Jackson.
And I feel like the other part of that is we're tackling better. At the beginning of the year, we're having a tough time tackling. We kind of went back to some of the things we were doing the year before. So we fixed some of those things. And, if you tackle the football and you have other guys pursuing the football, it takes away some of those missed tackles. And, it also gives you more confidence to go out and in open field. If you got on a one-on-one tackle, you know that your guy's going to be running to the ball. So I think that helped a lot too.
Adrian, we had an AlamoBowl.com question talking about what's your mindset going into the game, last game, injuries through a career? Have you thought about the last time walking out the tunnel?
Yeah, I thought about it, and it came fast, but the main thing on my mind now is just getting a win, and I handle the rest after the game, but right now I'm just solely set on just getting this win for our team because we need it. We need to finish strong, and I know our team's mindset is the same.
Greg, with all the stuff that's played out here and all the potential distraction for these players, what's been the message from you and the assistant coaches, and what have you seen from the players as they've gone through this?
When you're talking about the distractions, can you tell me what are you specifically hitting on?
Stepping down the last game.
I'm going to tell you this, and I think Mac Brown would tell you the same thing. This team haven't skipped a beat, okay? It's just the way we've been practicing. It isn't, Mac won't allow that to be the attention. Our guys are focused on what they're doing, and that's to try to win a football game. And it's been very evident to me that they are very focused and very in tune to what they want to get accomplished. And I've been very, very impressed. And you know what? This group of guys right up here now, they really are guys that take the bull by the horns, and they're fine leaders. They really are, and it's been a pleasure to watch. It really has, especially this bowl preparation. I've been very, very pleased in watching the way we've worked.
Greg, back here in the back, Warren Williamson, Oregon Duck Football News. You talked about the many weapons that Oregon has. Maybe you can touch on your philosophy as far as containing those weapons, your philosophy on playing zone and man-to-man. Zone to contain the weapons, man-to-man you're taking a chance. Don't give away too many of your secrets. But
Well, I think that, first of all, I think our style has been a multiple defensive attack. We're gonna be sound in the running game. That's very intent in the way that we work to control the running game. And our players do a good job of really being in tune where we need to be, and then you just kind of you peck away at different things that you want to make sure that you're taking care of, and it always comes down to this: if you can start slowing down the run, then your focus has got to be how are you going to disrupt that quarterback. And sometimes it's with coverage, sometimes it's with pressure. There's different things that you've got to do. And in a game like this, you're going to have different styles of play to try to get them out of balance a little bit.
For Jackson and Quandre, just Oregon's one of those teams that everybody talks about. I feel like even if they're way far away from you guys, you know, you hear about them throughout the year. As far as, I know Jackson said he's excited to play them just because of how big of a team they are, but how different are they from anybody you guys have seen?
I feel like, you know, their offense is similar to Big 12 offense. We go up against this type of attack each and every week, honestly. So they do some things that other guys in the Big 12 do, but they also they present different things that we haven't seen this year. So you know, it'll be a great challenge, and like you guys heard from me all year, I'm just ready. I'm always just ready to go play football. It doesn't matter who's on the field.
Thank you, Quandre.
And like he said, I'm just ready to play football too. But they got quick offensive linemen. Their offensive line is very quick at doing when they run the stretch and everything like that, and reaching and everything. They're a quick offensive line, so they pull fast, and so that's a little different. I mean, because we have a lot bigger guys. I feel like on the teams we have played before, and they might not be as big, but they move well and they're still strong. So that it's going to be a little different to us. But all in all, it's football. I mean, and you have to put the ball down and line up, and that's what we're going to do. And like I said again, we're very excited to play Oregon.
Thank you, Jackson. This question's for Quandre and Jackson. How much of a factor is it for the players that this is Mac's last game?
It's big to us. I mean, Coach Brown is very important to us. But like Coach Robinson said, Coach Brown doesn't allow us to be a distraction. And no matter what, we're gonna play our butts off, regardless of what was going on. If this wasn't happening, if it wasn't Coach Brown's last game, we were gonna play just as hard. I mean, because you have to. We're not gonna go out there and play a mediocre game. We got to play our best, and that's how you got to give it. It's the last game for seniors. Seniors have to go out on the right note.
The way I feel, you know, just the type of man Coach Brown is, he deserves to go out on top, man. You know, I feel like we deserve to go out. We need to go out and win this game for him, you know, not only for him but for ourselves and, you know, for the rest of the state, because, you know, it's a chance for us to go out and put on a show against a number 10 team in the nation, a big opponent, a team that was just up for a national championship maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago. So, you know, when you get an opportunity like this, you got to capitalize on it, and, you know, it'll be a big game for us, and you know, I'm just ready to go out and play.
Thank you, Quandre.
This for any of the players, as explosive as they've been offensively the last couple of years, the one team defensively that has done a nice job against them has been Stanford 2 years in a row. From watching how Stanford played them and some of the things they did, what did you take away from that as was important for how well they did?
I'll start this one off. The Stanford D-line, they got out the quarterback. They put Mariota in situations where he was very uncomfortable. It seemed like every time I watched film, he was rolling. He had to escape the pocket and try to make something up on his own. But I think that's the main objective to this game, and to winning this game is getting after him. I think the offense runs through him, and he's a big part of it.
Thank you, Cedric. Someone else want to answer?
And also, the Stanford was flying around, like we said. That's the most important thing. Everybody's got to fly around and get to the ball and just storm the tackler, or the runner.